Hi guys, and welcome back. Today, as stated, we will be doing the review of lessons 1 through 7. I forgot. So, let me just get these papers on the desk. I did take the other papers off, so it's a little less. The cushion is getting too big, so it's going to be a little easier to work with. I'm looking for tape. I have multiple sheets, so we can just like tear them off for the review. I don't care about keeping them. We'll just tear them off as we go through the exercises. I don't think it'll take too long to do. I don't think it'll be too long. But we shall see. And then next week we're going to start on shape. I think that's going to be the most exciting part. Finally moving forward in this book. So I think I'll be happy when we get to like the second section. Get out of section 1. So I've been debating if I should read through the exercises out loud before we do them, or if I should just do the exercises since I've already read them. That's the only one. That's what I can't decide how to go about doing. So I'm gonna keep the tape because if I rip off the front page, the tape's onto the front. So we'll just see how it works, and we'll get started. So I think I'm not gonna read through the exercises. I'm just gonna like do a couple of examples and then move from there. I think that'll be best because we have to get through 7 lessons today, and we still want to have time to do. Sorry, I forgot that me flipping through papers is actually picked up by the microphone. So I'm not going to read through the exercises, and then we'll do a couple of each example. We're trying to get through 7, so it's going to be fun, especially depending on how long it takes me to get through each one. So for lesson 1 is the horizontal lines A, B, C, D, and the oblique lines E, F, G, and H. And these are all clustered together because the elbow is close to the side. That's kind of what I'm... Yeah. Okay, good. So you guys can see this. Yeah, the camera angle is pretty good. Yeah, I ended up jostling the camera because I was getting ready. Seems like I'm always doing that. But what's kind of funny is I could probably do all 7 exercises in... Oh, geez. No, I messed it up. All 7 exercises in the 7th exercise because we're doing the perpendicular and the oblique lines, but and the horizontal. Yeah, okay, and then parallel line. Excellent. Yeah, there was a little bump, but that's fine. ignored that line. I don't know what happened with it. Yeah, there's a dip. No, and a slope. I sloped it. I dipped and then I dipped and then inclined. The line for some reason. So these are lining up, and then my hand's just like, nope. There we go. Make it a perfect parallel line. Dipping in the middle for some reason today. Kind of a good warm-up. Yep. That line's a little bit better, but I also see what's going on with that. That over there. Much better. There we go. Cool. So that is lesson 1 for the horizontal, the oblique line. So gradual slopes at a decline. The elbow stays near your body or near your torso. And if it's a decline, you always start, you want to start with the bottom line and then you move up like that. Because you always start with the line that's closest to the left and then move to the right. With an incline line, he doesn't tell me. It's going to be the same thing. It's the leftmost line first. It's a gradual inclines. I'm beginning to wonder if it's decline where your wrist, where your, because this is easy to do, but then this is harder to do. But when you put your elbow out, like if you were to draw a perpendicular line or a vertical line, I can do it no matter what. You can do steep. So I'm thinking I messed up. I got it confused, and that decline lines are always going to be close to your torso. Your elbow's going to be close to your torso. When you're doing an incline, your elbow's going to be away from your torso, like with the vertical line. But he does go into it in lesson 2, so let's check that one. But that's where it's easier for me. It's different way, and it's always the leftmost line first, and then move on to the right. Okay. He's saying for decline, your elbow should be like this, and for incline, your elbow should be like that. So I have it backwards. I can see why. And as long as it's not tight, close to my side, I can do it. If it's like a little bit away, I think I can draw the line. Let's see. Yeah, we've moved on to lesson 2. Sorry, I didn't change the pages or anything. I just. It might have been why I was having so much trouble yesterday with the CA line and the CB. Okay. So we've got those down. Might as well do the vertical lines on this paper. Then we'll get into the angles. Yeah, they're starting to get curved. There's a much straighter line. That is lesson 1 and 2. We're going to move on to lessons 3, 4, and 5. I think 3 and 3 is acute, 4 is obtuse, 5 is both, and then 6 is starting to become fancy. Alright, so lesson 3 is where you're given a angle that you have to mimic. I think it's like twice. So you have to draw it and then you have to mimic it. That's why that one takes a bit. So I think we'll only do that once. Before moving on to the other 2. For the other 4, there's 4 more lessons that we want to review over. I'll just stick right here and I'll grab it later. Okay, so we're trying to make the angles BAC and GFM, both of which are identical. Then, right, they're identical in the degree angle. So what that means is the other line that's there, DE and HI here, it's probably easier if I'm just showing this. So I'll just show what we're getting to. So for lesson 3, which is over here, we're making these angles. They're supposed to be the same degree, and to do that, this line has to be the same length as this line. And then these have to be the same length. So basically just copying a triangle. Making two identical triangles. That's the exercise, essentially. Thought the book was going to fall. I was like, not right now. I need you to stand. So line AB. So how he has you do this is you do the first angle and so you complete the first exercise, and then, or that you complete the first triangle, and then you go to the next second one. It would help if I was to do a straight line. I don't know why my lines have started angling up recently. Other than the fact that this is a new pencil, and it's a very light pencil too. It's very different than the color pencil I've been working with. It's better, but it's lighter. I don't know if that's why all of a sudden I can't draw the lines. Or if it's something else. I drew literally the same line. Okay. So sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes this trick works. So I don't know if it's a real trick or not. And you keep your eye on this dot over here. You don't look at where you're drawing. Sometimes it helps. Let's see. Nope. And if I had a bigger space, I wouldn't erase the line, because it's like, okay, obviously we need to practice horizontal lines, which we were just doing. But I know that this dot right here is directly across here. There we go. Much better. Now I'm wondering if it's straight though. Huh. That's where it's straight. Of course. Yeah. Length was going to be the hard part today. Nope. Drawing straight. Okay. Or unsloped. Drawing a non-sloped line is going to be the hard part today. Okay. Now, you draw the perpendicular DE, which I'm going to make the points A and B a little closer. Because I can't make a very tall triangle with how far up the paper with the paper I'm using, because I'm gonna run out of space. It dipped at the last minute. It dipped. Here we go. Straight perpendicular line. Okay, now I make the point C right above B at the same height as E. But I'm not going to make this line because what this isn't an actual line. A to C is the line. But why this matters, why this horizontal matters, is because it's going to give us the correct angle degree that we're looking for. Oh, the horizontal line, you can't see it because it's too high up on the page. There we go. So the length of the line matters, so it has to be directly above B, and this is for when we're going to be making the second triangle. So we want to make sure that it's directly above B and directly across from E. And that's going to give us the angle that we need over the angle degree that we were looking for. Now if I can just do a straight line. Nope, I can't. I'm not even going to the dots. Hold on, let's try this again. It would help if I had my elbow in the right spot. There we go. Yeah. I was starting at the wrong point. There we go. Cheated a little, but that's fine. Now, this distance, this point right here is called point K. Now, there's a couple of different ways we'd be able to do the measuring for the next. He's calling it angle. I'm calling it a triangle because it's essentially a triangle. But for the next angle, that's going to be the exact copy of this. Is you could just do the distance of D to K and then have the line go straight up there. But that's less than 7. So we're going to do the same thing we just did, making sure these distances are all the same for the next one. So we're going to start with the horizontal line. Dip down at the end. Actually, I didn't. Oh, I thought I did. Weird. Now, from there, we're going to make the points A, B, now we're going to do D, E, we want the same distance. So what I could do, honestly, is I could just measure the line at this point. But it looks like I've already messed up. Because D should be right here, apparently. And B should be right here. Okay, so let's erase these. Clean that up a bit. Then he's right here. Okay. Now that we've got the measurements right, we can start E. So let's just do the distance. It's easy just to like use a pen that has writing on it. Right at the E. Right there. Right, now that I have the distance, let's make sure it's right where it needs to be. So that'll be E. Now C is going to be right above E, or B, at the same height as E. This we're actually supposed to draw, though. This one is supposed to be drawn. This is just to see, to make sure that everything's right where it needs to be. And now let's draw the line AC. If I hadn't sloped it in the middle, it would have been fine. Let's try that again. Snagging on something. Oh. Okay, let's try that again. A little bit better. That's a little bit better. These points ended up right where they were supposed to be. This is just a mess. Let me see if I can clean it up. exactly what's going on. I don't. It's because there's only one other paper underneath. No, there's two. How's it doing that? It's snagging on the green right here. Yeah. I don't know how it managed to do that. It's because, oh, I'm putting too much pressure on the pencil. That's why that's happening. Alright, so let's put less pressure on the pencil and see what happens. It might move better. Yeah, much better line. Alright, so learned. Less pressure. Less pressure is good. And then these degrees should be the same. And that's basically how you just copy. Like, that's how you, like, measure. One way of measuring an angle. The next way is a fairly simple one. I'm going to have to move the angle of the camera so we can use the bottom paper of the paper. Focus. Okay. So it's a lot easier, actually. This one's so much easier. So what you do is you draw AB line AB. If I could draw a straight line, which second one is. So we're just going to erase the mistake. It's wavy, but it's straight. Let's see if I can make it unwavy. There we go. Now this is A, this is B. D is a non-existent part of the line. D needs to be further out. And written lower. Now C is going to be drawn, point C is right above D at a given height. Now you just connect A and C and you've got your obtuse angle. The easiest way to draw an obtuse angle. This is the easiest exercise that I've had since doing angles. It's easy and I like it. Right. Lesson 5 is a little more complex. Let's see. I'm gonna get through 3 more lessons. I think we can do it. So let's take this paper and say bye-bye. Oops. Almost managed to not. Okay, but that's okay. Let's see if I can just do this and keep going. Nope, I can't. I ripped it. That's fine. That's what the tape's for. Alright. I was hoping to keep the tape, but it doesn't look like I can. My drawing cushion is dwindling. Okay, so now we're going to start with lesson 5. This is going to be drawing a obtuse and acute angle at the same time. It's actually not that hard to do. It's pretty easy. Lesson 6 is a little bit harder, and lesson 7 just takes forever to draw. The explanations are short, simple. It's pretty easy to comprehend, but it takes a lot of effort to draw. You need to be very focused. So I'm trying to make the paper as straight as possible. And it is still pretty hard for me to get the paper straight because I'm used to, I don't know if anyone's seen the videos from like 2 months ago or like at the start, like the first 10. Actually, I think it was like what, the first 20 or 30. My paper, I'm left-handed, so I've never had my paper straight until a few weeks into doing this. And then I switched the orientation from what I had been doing to straight. And it helps immensely. But I've spent decades with no straight paper. So it's just for like school, for anything school related. My entire school career and up until past school, if I needed to do something with a piece of paper, the paper was never straight. I always had it angled. And there's like multiple reasons why it's more comfortable. I think it allows you to write without having to worry about your hand getting ink and pencil and stuff on it. Lots of different reasons, but not good. Okay, we start with a GE line. Draw the line GE and fix the point F. Where are we starting with AB? Okay, we're drawing an GF line. Okay. Okay. Sloped it right at the end. Okay. It's still sloped. Now it's not sloped. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is G, E, F. It doesn't matter where F is. So F could be here, F could be over here. It's better to put F as close to the middle as possible, though. You'll see why in a second. H is the point for the start of the perpendicular line, HF. Oops. Then, so this is like kind of like a fake line, right? If it focuses, focus. Okay, that's the line that doesn't really matter. Oh, it's an angled line too. Hold on. H was not in the right spot. Now H is in the right spot. Okay. So H, the point for H and F is to give, F is going to be the start of the angle, so it's going is like the fulcrum of the angle, I guess you could say. I don't know if I used fulcrum right. But it's going to be where the angle is, it's the angle point. That's what the word I was looking for. It's the angle point for both angles. So that's where F is. H is because that needs to be the height for the line making the angle. So I need to make I the same height as H. And now the line FI is going to make the angles. See, you have an obtuse and an acute angle. There we go. That's more like it. That's the better line. That's fine. So just different ways of being able to measure angles, like using a different focal points, I guess, to create these angles. Now, lesson 6 is doing an angle with lines that have two different slopes, as well as I'm pretty sure that's a right angle. I'm pretty sure it's making a right angle with two different slopes. That it is the barest, slightly off acute angle. Okay. So this one's a little more time intensive, and you really gotta like focus on all the different aspects. So let's move this to where you can see the whole page. Okay, so the first thing to be drawn has to be the line DE. This is going to be the horizontal line that creates the x-axis. Okay. Now point B is the only thing that's going to be on the horizontal line axis, the horizontal x-axis. But point A has to be directly above D. That would be supposed to be close to D. It makes sense. Makes sense in the long run, I promise. Okay, so A is supposed to be perpendicular line. AD is supposed to be a perpendicular line making a right angle, but this line doesn't actually exist. It holds no purpose other than to make sure you are directly above point D. Same with line CE. Now there's supposed to be different heights too, so this also helps in making C a smaller height. It can go up a little bit higher. Now I just need to make sure that it's directly above E. Point C, I'll get rid of the other dots so it doesn't get in the way of where we're trying to draw. Now, so now we can draw the angle AB, or the line. And then you draw the line BC. And that's another way to just make an angle and to measure a different angle. It does make two right triangles, so. But yeah, these lines do not really exist in terms of like what you're like if I was actively drawing it outside of an exercise. And I was just drawing a triangle, I guess. Now 7 is a lot more complicated. It's going to take me essentially the rest of the hour to draw. It is a newer exercise, which is another reason why it takes a bit longer for me to do. Because I'm not used to it, but also it's a pretty complex exercise. It's a very involved exercise. Then I am going to have to call it a day, so we did not get to drawing the proportions of a human figure, which is fine. We're going to be doing that next week. This week was the exercises took a lot longer, and this was a review day, and I preferred to do the review day over getting the figure, but we'll work on it next week. So. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Let's tape this down and get lesson 7 going. I don't know how well we're going to see using this colored paper, but that's fine. Oh no. How did I do that? I thought I had it completely straight. Alright, I have this straight. Okay. Now the paper's straight. Okay. This is the last exercise for the day, the last review. which I think we're just going to make Fridays review days, so. Alright, so the first thing you want to draw is the line AFA. I'm going to move it down here because this is the only, I'm only going to have time to do one of these. So line AF is supposed to be a line that goes as long as you can make it, essentially. My dog's telling me he needs to go outside. He's saying, I can't hold it anymore. I need to go outside. Alright, buddy. It's okay. I'll take you out in just a little bit. A few more minutes, okay? A few more minutes. Where'd you come from? Where did you come from? The other one's over here too. I guess she heard me. She's like, I need to go too. Don't leave me. I need to go outside too. Alright, hold on. I'm just gonna mute real quick. I'm not gonna go anywhere. Okay, so got the horizontal line. Now A, we're gonna put right here. And then F is gonna be, we'll make it right here. We'll make it a little bit easier for us today. Now F is just a point to tell us where we want to make our line, our point C. So this is going to be the perpendicular, but the line is going to be AC. So this line doesn't exist. It's just telling us that we are at the right point, and the length, and this line will be the right length for what we're trying to do. Next, we need to find G. Now G is going to be a little bit away from A, and above G is the point B. And the lines AC and CB, or CA, CB, are going to be what makes the angle. So C is going to be the angle point. So somewhere up here is B. I just need to make sure it's directly above G. Yep, okay, so B is directly above G. C is directly above F. Now, redraw the lines. We're not done yet, but we're going to draw the lines. A to C, C to A, and C to B. It would help if I was drawing this right. Hold on. I don't want a sloped line. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Okay, hold on. That makes sense. There we go. Much better. There. Okay. Now along this line is a point E. Now the distance A, so it has to be the same distance. So it has to be the exact middle. T. I guess we need to move it down here a little bit. J. And E. Right. Let's go a little bit more. X. And X. Okay, it's the same distance. So this is the point E right here. Now the distance from A to E, there's going to be a point D over here. So I just need to figure out where D is. It's going to be R. So then it's going to be over here somewhere. Let's make sure it's at the R before I start trying to make the line. Yeah, it's at the R. Okay. And all of this is to help with making the slopes and to do any different slope lines. But yep, that is all 7 exercises done in 1 hour. Cool. Not too bad. This one is the one that does take up the most time to do, but that's because it's a little more involved. As you can see, there's a lot more measuring and figuring out where things are and using various different measuring techniques. And that's kind of all these the angle exercises are. It's different ways to measure your angles, which you're gonna need when you start having to do proportional drawings, which is the first thing we're drawing is the proportional drawings of a man. So look at that. We're learning something we're going to be using right away. Okay, that is all the time I have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me on a Friday. I hope that you all have a good rest of your day. I will be back on Saturday, but remember I do not stream on Sundays. So Saturday's probably going to be like do a couple of warm-ups and then work completely on the proportion sketch. I think that's what we're gonna do, and then Monday we'll start with lesson 8 and continue with the proportion sketch. But so tomorrow's stream will be the fun stream where we're just working on the drawing. Okay, so until then, I hope you all have a good